And tomorrow, I do the stats for my part-time job, college football. Got the Clemson game and Clemson, Georgia Tech, and then I got Boston College and I think Florida State.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Patrick Henry High School on this blistery night as we have our tilt between the Concordia Academy Beacons and your Henry Patriots. Tonight we'll be introducing the seniors for both squads tonight. And according to my list, here are the seniors for the Beacons. Number 8.
Number 10, Jaden Quast. Number 13, Tony Bruskowicz. Number 54, Evan Larson. Number 66, Bemit Abeyehu. Number 75, Aiden Kingsbury. And number 77, Josh Eustern.
All right, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the broadcast tonight. You're listening to Patriot Sports Radio, another big matchup here in the Twin Cities Maroon District between Minneapolis Patrick Henry and Concordia. The Beacons, is that what they're called?
Yes, they are.
All right.
Concordia Academy Beacons.
Looking for a good game here. Nice weather kickoff, or could be a lot worse. It's about 40 degrees out there, and just a little wind. I'm J.R. Maddox along with Rod Blocker Jr. The kickoff goes. Henry picks up the ball, heading upfield, breaks a couple tackles, brings the ball up to around the 28-yard line. It'll be first down and goal. Not goal, but first down for Patrick Henry.
Yes, sir. And today it will be a good game to see, JR, because as I was talking to the Beacons coach, he said the defensive coverages have been good, which is something that we'll see if Henry's able to overcome that, because we know that Henry's had some trouble with the deep passing, with the passing game. But the one thing that Coach Bob Wolf told me from Concordia Academy that he's worried about is controlling the line of scrimmage consistently.
Okay, we look like we have an injured Patriot on the field they're attending to. And I told you guys I'm going to have to get my glasses at halftime because I was having a hard time seeing the numbers in the reflection that actually they have different uniforms on because they had those gold numbers that were hard to pick up during the light last time.
Yeah, the gray jerseys now tonight with the red writing on there. And Concordia Academy has on their white with the green. So under the lights of Friday night game, I think we should be good. And that looks like that is number 14 is down.
All right. Right now, Minneapolis Patrick Henry is averaging 115 pass yards per game, and they're averaging 80.7 yards a gain on the ground. Crispin Jackson has 346 passing yards to start the season. And looks like the injured player is number
14,
Trayvon Hughes.
Trayvon Hughes, and he's a senior on the team as well. And the coaches said about Trey, this is a big loss. He's the defensive end / wide receiver. They said Trey is a high-energy guy who came out for football and made an impact on JV scout team and special teams. So, as we saw there, he was going to be the kick return guy on that play, and hopefully it's just a minor injury, but he was not able to walk off the field on his own power. And right away, Crispin Jackson takes a shot down the field, deep left, as it's incomplete pass to Jonathan Phillips. He was covered closely on the play by cornerback number 25, Sam Hogg, who's a 6-foot freshman, which is nice size for a defensive back.
Okay, Jonathan Phillips has 66 yards receiving so far this year, so he's a big play guy, too, to watch out for.
Well, you see that they just went right. First play of the game, Crispin Jackson went after the freshman to see if he could hold his own, and it was just a little bit overthrown out of bounds. As they run it to the right, and they get about 5 yards on the play to the 30, and that is number 1 on the run, Zaire Jennings. I don't see A.J. Johnson out there tonight, and if he is not able to go tonight, then I wonder how will Henry use the perimeter game, because we know how A.J. Johnson is explosive, and he's a big part of what this team's like to do.
Big play, A.J. Johnson. That's correct.
They
definitely need him in the lineup. But Henry has some other weapons tonight.
Third down and about 5 to go. Henry needs to get to about the 37-yard line of the game for the first down. Crispin Jackson sees pressure. He'll lose one guy, and he gets rid of another one, and he is brought down by big number 75, who is the nose tackle on defense and the offensive lineman on Concordia Academy, who's going to Princeton next year. Division I football player with the tackle, Aiden Kingsbury. I got a feeling we're going to be saying his name a lot tonight.
Yes, also in on that tackle was number 24, Eli Griffin, for the Beacons, and he's playing both ways. He's a wide receiver as well.
And Coach Wolf told me they wanted to control the line of scrimmage. At first, Crispin looked like he was going to get outside, but Concordia had great contain on that play, and they able to make Henry punt it, and it was almost blocked, but Crispin Jackson was able to get off the punt, and it actually took a nice Henry roll.
That was a decent punt
down to
what
the 40,
we've been seeing.
Down to the 41-yard line of Concordia, and that's where they'll start their drive with 10:18 left in the first quarter at the 40-yard line, at their own 40-yard line.
All right, you're listening to Patriot Sports Radio, heard exclusively on 89.7 JRM Internet Radio. We're live at Don Swanson Field. That's right, a big matchup here in the Maroon District, Twin Cities Maroon District. Minneapolis Henry taking on Concordia, the Beacons. And they're out of Roseville, and they're a Christian Academy, grades 9 through 12.
Yes, and the quarterback starting off in shotgun, number 13, Tony Brusewitz. And right up the middle for a gain of 1 on the play And when I was talking to Concordia Academy's coach Bob Wolf, he told me that they want to get about 4 to 5 yards of play because they're not a real passing team. They're mostly a run team, so he feels like they need to do that to stay on schedule. He told me that the line on both offense and defense have been inconsistent, so this is going to be something to watch early to see if Concordia Academy can control the line of scrimmage and move the ball. But also for Henry, we know the games we've done, South and Spectrum got big chunks in the run game, so it's going to be paramount for Henry to get early stops and get off the field. As the running back number 10 gets it, he goes to the left. He's still going, and he gets a first down to about the 48-yard line of Patrick Henry's, and that's what we're talking about, those big plays.
Big chunks of yardage on the running game. That's been what's hurting Henry against every opponent is that they're getting such big plays. 8, 10, 12, 14 yards on a run play. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and on that one, that was about 12 yards right there, JR. So you're right on cue. And like I said, after the first stop, no gain on the first play, but then they come back running to the left side of the field and they get a big chunk of 12. And that was ran by Jaden Quas, who is a triple sport athlete for Concordia. And next year he'll be playing basketball at Bethel.
All right.
As they line up in the shotgun here, direct snapped it to number 13, Tony Brucewitz, right up the middle, and he gets about 9 yards on first down to about the 37-yard line, and they need about 1 yard for the first down. So this is what we're talking about, 9-yard plays on first down. This is exactly what Bob Wolf wanted to do today, what the coach for Concordia Academy wanted to do to stay on schedule.
Okay, from my view of things right now, I'm looking at the offensive line for Concordia compared to the defensive line against Henry. It looks like they're much bigger. Concordia's line is much bigger than Henry's defensive line. Do you see that playing, in fact, later in the game?
I mean, I see it playing a big factor for Henry. They're going to have to use their speed because, like, as we see, look at how Aiden Kingsbury just got the defensive tackle 5 yards down the field. I mean, he is a D1 talent out there on the field, so Henry has their work cut out tonight. So they're going to have to probably send extra guys in or use their speed to get around this power because Concordia Academy, what they want to do is control the line of scrimmage, and they want to control the clock, and they want to control the game. So I think Henry's going to have to force them to throw it, maybe put 6 or 7 in the box and make them beat you another way if you can't stop the run. Because right now it's looking like the first 2 games we saw from Henry when we were here, where they're going to be in trouble if they can't stop the run.
That's at number 11 with the ball.
To number 11 to the left, and he's still going to the left. He gets a block downfield, and a flag is going to be on that play at about the 20-yard line. And I think this one may be coming back after another first down run on first down. And that was Christian Brown with the run on that one, 5'7" sophomore.
All right, I'm glad to see the Punisher, Jack Oganash, coming back in the game, number 60. And let me tell you, when he tackles you, he doesn't just tackle you, he punishes you. That's his nickname, the Punisher. Let's get him see what he can do on the field now.
Block in the back, it looks like, or illegal hands. So it actually was a penalty. It actually was a penalty on Concordia. So if they get an 11-yard run, it will be negated and come back. So we will replay first down, and it'll be about 1st and 15 from the 35, and they have to get to about the 20-yard line to gain for the first down.
Looking at the roster here, too, Concordia has a lot of players in the 260, 250 range.
Yeah.
So they've got some size up front on the line. They've even got one young man who weighs 305 pounds, Kingsbury. Aiden Kingsbury.
That's
yes.
that's the D1 prospect that is going to Princeton next year. And he plays nose tackle and offensive lineman. So, yeah, they got their work cut out for him tonight on both sides of the ball. Direct snap to the quarterback, who takes it right up the middle, and he's still going, fights through 2 tackles, and he gets down to about the 20-yard line, which would be enough for first down, it looks like.
All right, Rod, in your experience, you've been around the block in football. What can a team like Henry do to stop this potent attack? I mean, you're not going to completely stop it, but is there anything they can do to slow it down?
Well, one thing, like I said, if what Concordia told me at the beginning of the broadcast or before the broadcast, they want to control the line of scrimmage. They barely passed the ball. Coach Wolf made that apparent. So what I think Henry needs to do is they need to bring a few more guys up in the box, maybe play man coverage one-on-one. You probably even need to bring the safety down because, as we see, they're just literally running the ball after run after run after run, and they're not even lining up like they're going to do anything else. So they're showing you what they're going to do, and I think Henry needs to combat that with adding more guys to the box. yards because they're undersized on the line of scrimmage.
It looked like that play was, what, another 6 or 7 yards?
Another 6 or 7 yards
up
down
the
to
middle.
about the 12-yard line. So they're in red zone in Henry's territory. So we got second down and about 7 yards because they need to get to about second down and 2. They need to get to about the 10-yard line to gain for a first down.
All right, Henry's going to try and hold here. Getting down and low.
Direct snap to number 10. As we see up the middle, and he looks like he's going to score a touchdown.
He goes all the way.
That is the running back, Jaden Quas. Like we said, all-state triple and long jump basketball player for the touchdown right up the middle for about 13 yards. And Concordia Academy did exactly what Coach Wolf talked about. They wanted to run it and control the line of scrimmage, and they did that from their own 40, traveling 60 yards down the field. Every play that drive was a run play.
That makes it 6-0 Concordia over Minneapolis Henry. And let's see if anybody can kick an extra point there. It looks like they're going to go for 2. We haven't seen any good extra point kickers, field goal kickers.
Well, except for when we saw South, he was 4 for 4 that game. And like I said, with South, it looked like that's something that they actually took time out and did, because I saw them doing it before the game. The 2-point conversion right there was failed. So they did, they converted the 2-point conversion up the middle. So 8-0 Concordia Academy with 5:59 left in the first quarter.
You're listening to Patriots Sports Radio, heard exclusively on 89.7 JRM. And we'd like to thank Stephen McDonald Frimming from StephenSports.com. And he's one of our people that help us out here with the broadcast. I just want to give a little more information here on Concordia Christian Academy. Their 2015 girls volleyball team took second place in the state tournament. Their 2016 women's softball team were the Section 4 AA champions. In 2019, Concordia's girls volleyball team placed 4th in the state, and their girls volleyball team in 2018 also placed 4th in the state. So they've got some success here at Concordia, the Beacons.
Yeah, they do. And then, like I said, with that first drive, they look like they're going to try to establish themselves right away this game. So I think Henry's going to have to come out and use the speed and the athleticism to combat what Concordia wants to do.
All right, who's back for Henry?
The kickoff is taken from the 20. That is number 3, Trey Bogard Merrick. The senior, he runs it up to the left. He runs it up to the left.
What a play. He can go.
He's
One
still
more
going.
cut to go.
And he cuts back to the
He's
right, all the way
going,
across
he's
the field.
going.
He's going to the 10, to the 5, and he runs it all the way in for a touchdown. But it is a flag at the 40-yard line of Henry, so let's see what it is. He got it from the 20. That was an 80-yard kickoff return for a touchdown as he went up the left side of the field and reversed it all the way back to the right. Trey Bogard Merrick, but there is a flag down at the 40-yard line of Henry, so let's see what it is on this play.
And
once
it's
again,
coming back.
Once again, that's one thing that we did not allude to for Henry, but one thing I wanted to see from Henry is, can they have a clean game? We know from the games we've done here so far, every time they get some good positive plays, they always shoot themselves in the foot at times, and this is indicative of that right here after a nice 80-yard return by the senior Trey Bogard Merrick.
He's a defensive specialist. He leads Henry with 15 tackles along with Roderick Ewing. Also, he has interception this year. So he not only is he a big play guy, he's a defensive specialist as well. Yeah,
and like they said, the coaches rave about him. They said Trey is one of the hardest hitters, a senior leader, and our defensive nucleus, to talk about to piggyback off of what you said there. He's improved his hands this offseason to become a receiving threat as well. So an all-around guy. Just ran back an 80-yard kickoff return, but in that instance, it was a block in the back at the 40, so it brought it back to the 30. So Henry will be 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line with 5:05 to go in the first quarter. And I know that one has to sting because that would have put them right back in this thing.
Well, without A.J. Johnson, big play A.J. Johnson, Henry may have to rely more on Crispin Jackson's legs than his arm, in this game.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to see Crispin do multiple things, from running the ball, like I said, to getting the ball out there on the perimeter to his athletes. We saw what Trey just did from that 80-yard kickoff return that got called back. If you give him a nice screen pass or a nice slant, from what he just did in the kickoff return, he showed us that he has the ability to take it to the house. So I think Henry is going to have to do quick hitters and use the quarterback's athleticism to outmuscle this strength that they have up front at Concordia Academy. As a first down run by Zaire Jennings goes down to about the 32-yard line, so about 2 yards on first down for Henry. And the one thing that Henry wants to do is sustain drives, I would say. Concordia Academy took about 6 minutes off the clock from their drive. Henry had the ball for about a minute and a half. They don't want to continue to keep putting their defense in these positions with 3 and outs.
Yes, Henry definitely needs at least a couple first downs to give that defensive rest because neither one of these schools are real deep player-wise.
No, it doesn't look like Concordia. It looks like they have less players than Henry, honestly. So that's the thing. If Henry can keep them on the field, and look, a nice short screen pass to Jonathan Phillips. It got stopped for about a gain of 1, but I think that's what Henry has to do. Get out on the perimeter and get your athletes in space on their players and see what you can do. But at the 33-yard line right now, Henry, this is going to be a big third down because they're about 3rd and 7. They need to get to about the 40-yard line for a first down, and I don't think Henry can afford to give the ball back to Concordia Academy this early. I think they need to wear these guys out and keep this drive going.
And we got to keep the field position, game of field position.
Crispin on the run, and he throws it. And
That looks like Zhang with the catch over there.
Yep, and he fell down, so he didn't even get a chance to run it at about the 37. So it's going to bring up about 4th and 3, and that was Johnston Zhang with the catch.
You know, he has 87 yards receiving on this year, and he's caught a couple big plays of over 20 yards this year as well.
Yes, he has. We was at the game when he almost got into the end zone with the nice catch that was tipped, but he almost got in there, and he got down to about the 3-yard line that game with the speed that he has, with the speed that Trey possessed, with the speed that Jonathan Phillips gets going vertical. Henry has a shot. They just have to get it there, and this is a big 4th down right here, about 4th and 4. At the 36-yard line, they need to get to the 40-yard line of the game. And they called a timeout here with about 3:07 left in the first quarter to get probably the right play call because, like I said, this is a big early play so far in this game.
Well, you know, Henry has one thing going in their favor. Crispin Jackson is very poised quarterback. He doesn't panic at all. So that's one good thing going in their favor. They can throw anything at him, and he doesn't panic. So that's one good thing going in Henry's favor.
Yeah, he's composed under pressure. You know, the thing is, today, what's going to need to help Crispin Jackson out is his other players, his receivers, his running backs, tight end, whoever he's getting the ball out to, they have to make plays for this young man because, like I said, like you've alluded to, he's kept drives going. He's made things happen under pressure, but then he gets the ball out. Nice throws, nice timely throws, but then they can't capitalize on the other end. So I think he's going to need his players to help him out today tremendously, especially going against this attack. He's going to need those athletes to show why we are raving about their big play ability. And they just look like they're going to punt it after being 4th and 3 after the timeout. I think they're going to play the field position game and punt it away here. And he got it down. Couple punts almost got blocked, and this one takes another Henry roll to about the 39-yard line of Concordia. So similar to where they started the first drive, and let's see if Henry can now get a stop.
Just like to mention a couple of notable Henry High athletes from back in the day. I want to send a shout out to Sakori Russell. Played on the 2001 Henry team that was rated one of the best teams in the nation, along with Tony Travis and Greg Patton. Those are some of the superstars back for Minneapolis Henry in that 2001 year when they went 30-0. Their only loss was to Oak Hill Academy, the #1 team in the nation, and they had a chance to beat them.
Okay, wow, that's some good history right there. Oak Hill with the Carmelo Anthony's of the world and some of the other great NBA talent. I mean, for Henry to go down in history like that and only have one loss to that Oak Hill Academy team, that's great history right there, JR.
All right, that's back now, though, the city conference, it's not even called a city conference, but the city schools are so watered down now because now you can go anywhere. You can pick the school you want to go to. So a lot of the good athletes go to like Hopkins and suburban schools who have a better track record, they say, of getting scholarships. That's number 10 on the run.
That is Jaden Quas. He runs down first down on first down. Once again, he ran it down to about the 49 of Concordia's, so 10 yards on first down. Right now, they're averaging about 10 yards on every run play so so far. Concordia is.
You know it, and maybe the fight doctor Troy can go down to the Henry bench and get us an injury report on big play A.J. Johnson. Can you get us an injury report, because people are wondering where is he at tonight?
And that was Jaden Quast, the 3-star athlete. And I think, like I said, right now, to contain the line of scrimmage, because right now, Concordia Academy is doing whatever they want to do at will.
A nice run.
To the right.
Another big gain on, was that?
That's first down. So down to about the 46-yard line on that one. So we got about 5 yards on that run play, which is one of the shortest run plays since the first play of the game when they got 0 yards. But like I said, they're literally taking the air out the ball with this run game, because they're about second down now and about 4 to go. They need to get to about the 42-yard line to gain in there at about the 46. So once again, a nice first down run. And this is exactly what Coach Wolf talked about. He wanted to control the line of scrimmage, and he felt like in order to do so, they needed 4 to 5 yards of play, and they're doubling that right now. So he has to be happy over there on the sideline that his team so far in this first quarter is coming down to executing what he felt like they needed to do to win this game. Direct snap, and it looks like they're setting up to throw, and that's the running back, Jaden Quast, throwing it in the double coverage.
A chance for interception.
And it should have been picked off as he threw it, as he was intended for Nick Braun, and it was broken up. That looks like that was Trey Bogart-Merrick, and I talked about, yes, that was Trey that broke that up, and it should have been intercepted deep right up the field, but he dropped the interception, and that's what Henry cannot have. They have to capitalize on those opportunities to give their team a chance. But we talked about that earlier. The coaches have raved about how Trey Hands has gotten a lot better. And you've seen it right there. You see Trey so far have his fingerprint on this game. On special teams, on defense. Now we just have to capitalize and make those plays happen. We can't have almost plays, especially when you're playing behind and you're playing behind the chains. He fakes it, and that is Jaden Quast up the left side of the field.
Sweep.
And he is going to be gone after running a 46-yard touchdown up the left side of the field off the power sweep like you talked about.
What a run.
Looks like there's a flag, though, down back at the line of scrimmage. And it's going to be coming back. So that touchdown of 46 yards by Jaden Quast will be negated. There was a holding on the play by Concordia Academy. So they will now be backed up to about the 44-yard line of Henry's. And it'll be about 3rd and 15, which is not a good play for Concordia Academy. And that's one thing that Coach Wolf talked about. He said that they stall out some drives. Sometimes they're on, sometimes they're off on the offensive line. And that is indicative of what we talked about in the pregame with Coach Wolf. Great plays, great chunk yards, but then as soon as they break it to the house, there's a coming back for a holding. If Concordia Academy's line can be consistent throughout the game, they'll put themselves in a great position to be in the driver's seat. But when they have plays like that, that's exactly what Coach is talking about.
Okay, we understand a big play. AJ is on the IR, and here's another big play up the middle for Concordia.
And he got half of that yardage back, so he got back to the 44 where they originally started from. A couple yards more because they started at the 46. So it looks like they will be about 4th and 7 as they need to get to about the 37-yard line for the first down the game. And I think they're going to go for it. Now, this is, to me, right now, this is a huge play with 30 seconds left in the first quarter, where if I'm Henry, I'm only playing man-to-man coverage and everybody else is in the box. And I'm containing the outside because we see with that sweep, with the direct snaps, that's what Concordia Academy has liking to do through these first 2 drives. They line up in shotgun, runs it up the middle, and he will be stopped short.
Got another
and that was
flag
a good
on the
hold
play
by Henry, and let's see, it's going to be
it's like a legal motion.
Legal motion. I think Henry will decline this penalty and just get the ball back at around their own 45-yard line, which will set them up in great field position.
All right, you're listening to Patriot Sports Radio and a big matchup here in the Twin Cities Maroon District.
Also, they did not decline it. It was a legal motion, so they just gave him 3rd down and backed them up to about the 49. So Henry's going to take the yards. So if they get a stop here, they'll start at the ball with their own 50-yard line.
What thing about that ground game, like Armies, that attack where they just run and run and run, not only does it break you down physically, but mentally, you just get it in your head, man, I can't stop this.
Yeah, no, that's true. And like I said, that's where you take the wheel and the air out of the ball by running it down the team's throat. And that's why I'm saying Henry's going to have to make adjustments after this first quarter, because the first quarter is already over because, like I said, Concordia Academy had the ball control, and this is what Coach Wolf talked about. They had the ball for about 8 minutes of the 12 minutes of that first quarter.
All right, the end of the first quarter, it's 8-0. Concordia with the lead over Minneapolis Patrick Henry in a big showdown here. And let's see, I got some more information for you here. You know who leads Henry in sacks? It's Darius Spearman, has 3 sacks on the year, along with John.
Led to a turnover for Henry, so I feel like that's what they have to try to focus on here in this second quarter and the rest of the game. As they line up in shotgun with 2 backs, they give it to the running back Jaden Quas on 3rd and 12, and he looks like he's gonna be short of the first down as he gets to about the 38-yard line, the 39-yard line. It will be 4th down and about 2.
He's 5'11", 185, so he definitely has the size to take it to the next level.
Oh, yeah. And next year he will be a basketball player at Bethel. So triple sport athlete, all-state long jump and triple jump. So we talk about Henry's athletes. We got to mention Concordia Academy has some of themselves because Jaden Quas, with the credentials he has, true athlete. Tony B takes a direct snap, goes up the middle, and he'll have enough for the first down and more down till about the 30-yard line. So on 4th down, he needed 2 yards, and they got about 9 yards on that play. And they'll be 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line going towards Henry's territory with 11:15 left in this second quarter.
All right, I'd like to thank Stephen McDonald Frimming from StephenSports.com for helping us out on the broadcast. And you, speaking of players from Concordia, they had some other great athletes, too, and I have my list right over here I was going to tell you about, but we'll get back to that. But they've had some great basketball players come out of there as well. Let's see, Zach Towley scored 2,519 points in his career.
Zach Toll, him and my brother actually played AAU together. One of the best shooters I've probably ever seen play. Zach Toll, his dad used to actually coach Concordia Academy for basketball. He graduated high school in 2008, so he was a player for them. When I was in high school, he was a good player.
And don't forget, too, the women's track and field team, the true track and field team in 2018 took 2nd in the state.
So they got some good history over there. Like I said, they have some athletes in their own right over there at Concordia Academy. As that first down run got to about the 25, so 5 yards on first down, as they're 2nd and 5 from about the 25-yard line, threatening to get into the red zone here. And they have 3 backs bunched in the backfield as it goes to Jaden Quas on the direct snap. He goes to the right off the sweep. He's tackled right down at about the 5-yard line, it looks like. So as he ran it into the red zone on the right side off a sweep, direct snap.
It seems like Henry's cornerbacks and safeties are having to make all the tackles here, so that shows that the offensive line is dominating the defensive line for Henry.
Yeah, and that's why I talked about it earlier, JR, that they need to get more guys in the box because Henry is not getting their hands on these runners until they're 5 and 6 yards into the defense. And like I said, that's exactly what Coach Wolf told me that Concordia wants to do. He's not hiding it. He said they want to get 4 to 5 yards every play from the run, and they're getting about 8 to 10 yards a play on the run. So he can't be any happier this first half. That's Organash with a nice stop at about the 2-yard line, and that was Jaden Quas up the middle as they're working him on this drive.
The Punisher. See, if they can keep the Punisher in the middle, they can keep him. Maybe he'll have a chance of wearing down their offensive center and a couple of their big guards.
And, I mean, tonight, like you said, we're going to have to find the leadership from someone else that A.J. Johnson's not here, because what the coaches said about A.J., not only is he big play A.J., A.J. is also a leader. We've seen in warm-ups, he gets these guys hype. He gets these guys going. And him not being here tonight, they're going to have to find that voice as Concordia Academy scores another touchdown up the middle with the run, and as they take a 14-0 lead.
It's just all ground attack. It's just like Army. I mean, that devastating ground
Cole
attack.
Schmidt.
They can't stop them. It's just the line is just devastating.
And that's what happens when you have D1 talent on your offensive line and defensive line. And that's what Aiden Kingsbury's doing. He's opening up big chunks and big holes. And like I said, this is exactly what Coach Wolf talked to me about in the pregame. He wanted to control the line of scrimmage. And with 8 minutes and 40 seconds left in the second quarter, as they are up 16-0, he can't be any happier because Concordia Academy is doing just that, controlling the line of scrimmage. Broadcast ago, Henry in that Richfield game, just being in that atmosphere and seeing McKenzie back then as a young kid was something special.
All right, this is where we need a big play for Henry, and they kick a squib kick,
and they got it from about the 25-yard line as it is taken, and he's going. Is that Trey again? That is Trey Bogarmer with about a 20-yard return on the right side of the field. No, I'm sorry, that was not Trey Bogarmer. That was number 9 on that one. That was Devontae. No, that was Newman Thomas. Newman Thomas on the return of 20 yards for Henry. So this is probably going to be the best field position that they start with at their own 45-yard line with 8:32 left in the second quarter. I think now is the time that Henry has to be aggressive.
Well, you know, it's either do or die right now. You're already down by 16 points. You're at home. It's time to unleash Crispin here. Let's get him a couple of rollouts, the old Fran Tarkington style way where you roll out, pick up 10 or 12 yards with the receiver coming across the middle, and it's a handoff.
Right at the line of scrimmage, and they, like I said, once again, right now, Concordia Academy is just imposing their will on this offense. And that was number 54, Evan Larson, number 75, all in on the stop there, and as well number 14, Ben Raymond. So right now, Concordia Academy is just controlling the line of scrimmage on both ends of the ball, and this is exactly what they wanted to do tonight.
Crispin Jackson overthrows
number 8, and that is Devontae Whitesledge, the freshman receiver that he just overthrew there as he got pressure in his face. And once again, they broke through the line of scrimmage, got pressure in his face, and the throw was an errant throw.
And Henry having to go to freshmen due to the injury to A.J. Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, and this has got to be, I mean, in a game like tonight, it's not good for you to not have a lot of experience out here, but it is good for some of your young guys to get experience as he hits him with a double move, and we finally get a pass completion deep left. Jonathan Phillips is still going, and he is finally tackled at the 21-yard line of Concordia Academies by number 25 with the touchdown saving tackle, Sam Hogg, the freshman defensive back, as Jonathan Phillips got the cornerback with the double move. And what we talked about with Crispin, he delivered a nice, crisp, accurate pass up the left sideline, and Jonathan Phillips almost took it to the house if it wasn't for that saving tackle.
And you know we need a touchdown because we don't have a good kicking game here at Henry, so this is all touchdown. There's counted as a 4 downs.
The play action, the fake, Crispin keeps it, runs to the right, and he gets stopped by a leg tackle and that is number 13 on the tackle, Tony B, who's also the quarterback, with the tackle on Crispin after Crispin runs it for about 3 yards to the right side. And it looks like Henry will be on their 18-yard line, second down and about 7. So they're in the red zone, threatening right now, and I think Henry needs to keep this up. Crispin now looks like he's coming into a zone and coming into a rhythm now. I think they need to ride this hot hand and keep the ball in Crispin's hands.
Yes, I like the play action effect, that when they give him the play action effect. I don't like him standing straight back in the pocket, even though he can do that.
Yeah.
But he's more effective, I think, when you give him the option to run. If it's
right over the middle, and there was a dime over the middle, and there's going to be a touchdown on the slant to Jonathan Phillips. We just talked about it. Crispin Jackson, right on time, folks, here at Henry, here at Don Swanson Stadium. That was a nice pass over the middle, 19 yards out for a touchdown. Crispin Jackson to Jonathan Phillips, his number one target on the outside. And Johnny Phillips is a dynamic playmaker with the ball in his hands. He got better each year, and he's a key to the offensive success, is what the head coach said. And as that play right there, you see why he is a key to their offensive success. He got going that drive with 2 catches, and they got into the end zone.
And looks like, are they attempting an extra point here?
They are looking like they're going to go for the kick. So let's see. Crispin Jackson's going to be the holder. I can't see who the kicker is. Oh, it's a fake. And he throws it, and it's intercepted
by Concordia.
By the big guy for Princeton. And he's going. The big guy's going up the right sideline. And the ref blows it dead, because I guess in high school, you do not get any points for returning a failed extra point. But it was intercepted by the big guy, Aiden Kingsbury, and he was trying to go to the house, guys. He was moving for that side, for that big guy. He was moving.
Well, the good thing here is Henry's on the board here, and that's given him some kind of momentum here. Even though the extra point didn't work, you still got some momentum here. There's something to work on.
Crispin put a nice drive together and went to his trusted senior, Jonathan Phillips, and we talked about it. Henry has had their opportunities this whole season to make those plays, and they just haven't made them. Well, Jonathan made them that drive, and look what happened. We produced points. So right now, Henry has to have confidence and use that on the defensive end. But nice drive put together, nice throws by Crispin, and the coaches rave about how his knowledge of the offense is at another level and how he is a leader, and he showed his knowledge of the offense making those good throws, because that touchdown pass, the slant over the middle, that was in between 2 Concordia Academy defenders. So he had to place that ball right on the money for that to happen.
He's got a good arm. Definitely he's got a good arm. And his poise is his best thing I like about him, because nothing rattles him. He can have 3 guys trying to tackle him, and he's still poised, makes a move, and still gets the ball off.
Yeah, so that was a good response from Henry. Now let's see if the defense can answer and get Crispin the ball back, because he was hot on that drive. He was cooking. So I think if they can get him the ball back before halftime and Henry can go back and do what they did, hey, who knows? We might have us a game here. On the kickoff, it is short kick, and it is downed at about the 45-yard line.
That was number 14.
As the kick was kicked off by KG Vane.
Number 14 for Concordia makes the catch, and good field position, too.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
It was only about a 15-yard kick. I don't know if that was planned or if it slipped off the foot. But, yeah, good field position, because Henry started from their own 45. Concordia Academy, not as if they needed it, good field position, because we've seen what they've done, but they will start off the ball with good field position. We got a guy from Henry running onto the field late. That would be number 80, Jamal
And you got
Rice.
a power sweep for Concordia. And it looks like another big gain. He's going.
He's going up the right side as he is pushed out of bounds at about the 30-yard line. So on that run play, we have about a 25-yard run on first down. Once again, big chunks after big chunks. And that was Sam Hogg, the freshman defensive back, who has had a tackle on defense and a nice pass breakup, but on that one, he just had a 25-yard rush for a first down on first down.
And that was Judah Neal, number 26 with the carry for Concordia.
Oh, that was Judah Neal. I'm sorry, I thought that was number 25 with the carry, Sam Hall. Maybe my vision is off here, JR.
It could have been mine.
Number 20, that is number 25, tackled by number 5, Laquarius Gilmer, as he's taken down to about the 24 now. So that was Sam Hogg. taken down at about a 6-yard gain, and that's what we're talking about. The defense is not getting their hands on these runners until they're about 5, 10, 15 yards down the field, and that is not good for any defense.
We're broadcasting from Don Swanson Field here in North Minneapolis, home of the Patrick Henry High Patriots.
It'll be about 2nd and 4 from the 24-yard line with 5.5 minutes left in the second quarter, as Concordia Academy is threatening. They need to get to about the 20-yard line in the game for the first down. Snap is a little high, but it's a direct snap again to Sam Hogg. And he gets stopped actually for a loss on the play, or maybe no gain, which is one of the few plays that Henry can say they've had to stop in the backfield for no gain. And that was good pursuit to the ball by the front 7 on that play for Henry.
All right, do you think that Henry's defensive line is getting wore out yet?
You see guys on their knees right now. I mean, these drives are sustaining. As we mentioned, besides that last drive that Henry had, it'll be a 24-minute half. I would say Henry probably had the ball total in this half for about 8 minutes. Not even double-digit minutes. So, of course, they're probably getting tired and a little bit of fatigue out here as Concordia Academy is just pounding the rock.
That was a good tackle right there for Henry.
These last 2 runs, Henry has to start gaining some confidence because the Concordia Academy just got about 2 yards in the last 2 runs, and we have not seen back-to-back plays where Henry's getting early penetration like that.
And there hasn't been a whole lot of penalty flags. The first couple games, it seemed like because the kids couldn't practice a lot, there was a lot of miscues. There's not been that many miscues here.
Actually, looks like that was enough yardage for the first down. So to be first, even though it wasn't a lot of yardage, it would be first down from about the 21-yard line. And that is Sam Hogg again. He runs it to the left on a sweep, and he will be going into the end zone once again at about 20 yards out. Sam Hogg takes a direct snap to the left, and he runs it into the touchdown, and it's now 22-6 with 4:13. And that's what I was going to say when we were watching right there. We thought it was going to be third down for Concordia Academy, but a point to that is it's tough to do that when you're getting 7 yards on first down. So on second down and third down, when it looked like you got those stops, all they needed was 3 yards. So first down is key. Those big chunks on first down is key. And I know I'm beating a dead horse, but Coach Wolf, this is what he wanted from his team, and he can't be any happier.
And they're going for 2 right now.
They're going for 2 again, and they're 2 for 2 so far. And it looks like they will be 3 for 3, as Sam Hogg was the long back on that whole drive as he takes it in and completes. No, that was not Sam Hogg. That was number 23, Kellen Quas, probably the younger brother of star running back Jaden Quas, and he's a freshman.
All right, you're listening to Patriot Sports Radio. It is 20. That's tonight. That's our crew.
Yes, sir. A.J. Johnson, right now, I think he has been tremendously missed, not only with the big plays, but also with the hyping up the team, because right now this is where Henry's going to have to dig deep and find it and make some plays. As Trey Bogart-Merritt picks up from the 20, he did make something happen and got down about 13-yard return to about the 33 when it looked like he had nothing there.
Not bad field position. If you can start, anywhere 30, 35 yards, 40 yards, that's not bad field position to start your drive on and make something positive happen.
Well, that's such a great point, because last drive we saw Henry started at their own 45, went down, put a nice drive together. They weren't backed up, put a nice drive together, went down and scored a touchdown. Now they're at about the 33-yard line. Let's see if Crispin Jackson can put the team on his back once again and put another drive together. Him and Jonathan Phillips had a connection last drive that we have not seen much this season like that. So let's see if they can keep it up as they line up in shotgun with a running back to the right of Crispin. and it looks like there will be a pre-snap penalty, and it's going to go against Concordia Academy. It's going to be encroachment, so that is good for Henry as they're going to get about 5 yards and be 1st and 5 from about the 38-yard line as there was encroachment from Concordia Academy.
All right. This is a big matchup here because they're only going to be like 6 games that have been cut in half. So
Yep.
each one of these seniors out here is showcasing their talent on these last games here. And it's very important that they get a chance to do that.
Yes. Yes, it is, because like we said, we thought we wasn't going to have a season to the spring, and now we have one now. And that pass was a little bit low, but still catchable, as it looks like the player for Henry is slow to get up, and I think that's Devontae Whitesledge on the play, and that was the freshman receiver, Devontae Whitesledge, a little slow to get up as he goes back to the huddle. The pass was a little low, so he had to bend down for it, but still possibly a catchable ball. And that would have been a first down on first down, so now Henry will be 2nd and 5 from about the 37-yard line, and they have to get to the 42-yard line for the first down. Crispin lines up in shotgun once again, running back to the left. Short pass over the middle. Jonathan Phillips with the drop as the pass is over the middle. Now on that,
Kind of high. The pass was kind of
the
high.
pass was kind of high on that, JR, but I don't like how Jonathan Phillips went up forward with one hand. You can't get pretty with that. It was kind of high, but I feel like if he goes up with 2 on that one, he probably still could be running or at least got the first down on that one. I mean, right now you're down 24-6. There's no time to try to be fancy out here. I mean, Crispin was under pressure, threw it a little high, but that was still a catchable ball.
I'm old school. If you get your hand on the ball, that means you should have caught it.
And that was definitely a catchable ball, but he tried to Odell Beckham it, and those things don't just come. Those things have to be worked on, but in a game like this, I think don't try to make the fancy plays, just make the right play. And that was a prime example of needing to make the right play.
And it also shows the timing, too. These guys haven't had a lot of chance to practice that because A.J. Johnson is usually his top receiver.
Oh, nice screen route. Jonathan Phillips is going up the sideline as he stiff arms out of bounds till about the 50-yard line with a nice stiff arm there on Logan Kirkhoff, the sophomore linebacker. Jonathan Phillips take it to about midfield at the 49-yard line, and that was a first down, 12 yards on the play. A nice screen pass from Crispin to Jonathan. And that's what I was talking about, JR. The screen pass, getting out on the perimeter, getting the athletes on athletes. As Crispin Jackson was under pressure again, and the pass was short up the middle, intended for Whitesledge once again, but it was not in the area of the receiver.
Yes, anytime. I mean, Crispin is a great pocket passer, too, as well, but I think you're limiting him when you keep calling plays with him straight in the pocket. Let him roll out.
So you think they need to let him roll out more and make things happen, make the defense commit to him and
Thank
go
you.
over their head?
Thank you.
I mean, that's not a bad point. Every time he does get some movement, we do see some good things happening.
That pass was dropped.
And that pass was dropped on the coverage. That's number 25, who's also the running back, Sam Hogg. He's made some good plays in coverage, but once again, that's the freshman Devontae Whitesledge, and we see him getting a lot more playing time and a lot more reps because of A.J. Johnson being out. But I feel like Whitesledge has to take hold of this opportunity as a freshman, take this experience in, because you're going to be for the next 3 years. You might start to be that guy. So right now, Crispin is showing a lot of faith in him, a lot of confidence in him. So I feel like he's going to have to start making some of those catches. Lining up in shotgun, we're about 3rd and 10. And a swing pass out there to number 21, as it's going to be a tackle at about the 44-yard line. So they're going to need about 4 yards on 4th down, and that was number 21 with the catch.
Yes.
Johnston Jong, the speedster out of the backfield. And that could have almost been a horse collar tackle by number 10 on that play, star running back Jaden Quast. I think Henry has to go for it on this one. I mean, you're on your side of the field. You only need 4 yards to gain, about 4 to 5 yards to gain, get to the 40-yard line. They're on the 45.
And especially their
touchdowns.
their punting game is bad. So that's a great decision here.
Yeah, down by 3 touchdowns at half, with 3:38 left in the first half. You have to go for it here. Play action, and Crispin's going to pick up the first down, and he's going to pick up more.
He's going all the
right
way.
Side of the field, and he's
The
going to
10,
be
the
going.
5, touchdown.
And he gets stopped
Oh,
at
right
about
at the 2.
the 1 or the 2 yard line.
Oh,
as it was
he
a
just about had
touchdown
it.
saving tackle by number 13, Tony B, who's the opposing quarterback. But that was a nice run by Crispin Jackson.
What did I tell you? Let him call plays where he can move and roll out.
Yes.
I called it.
Hey, JR, right on time. 43-yard run up the right sideline for Crispin Jackson there. And like I said, he's the hot man right now. Completing passes, doing it with his feet, doing it with his arm. He is actually keep giving Henry a fighting chance to stay in this game and to put points on the board. As he drops back, it's a slant over the middle, and that'll be our man, Johnston Jones, for the touchdown. And that is the second touchdown pass by Crispin Jackson in his half. Another slant that converts into a touchdown. That time it was to running back Johnston Jones. They lined him up on the outside to the left, slant to the middle of the field. He beat the linebacker to the middle, and Crispin delivered another timing pass on time.
24-12 is the score. Concordia with the lead, but Minneapolis Henry is fighting. They're not giving up, and they're going to have a chance to go for two.
With 2:40 left in this first half, I mean, like I said, right now, I think Henry needs to take that offense and kind of morph it to the defense as well, because they have a lot of high energy, a lot of good plays that they're calling on offense. I think they just need to put that type of effort and passion on the defensive end, and who knows, we can have a game. Crispin Jackson with the play action. Cuts it back up to the middle, and it looks like the two-point conversion. We're waiting on the signal for the referees yet. It looks like it's going to be good. Crispin again with the feet. So he runs the two-point conversion in up the middle of the field after he evaded a couple defenders, and now Henry is only down 24-14 with 2.5 minutes in the first half, which right now we saw Henry come back from a 20-6 lead versus Spectrum. They wasn't able to hold Spectrum. But Henry has shown they can play from behind. Now the defense has to do their part.
Well, they're just one big play away from getting right back in this game. But one thing is important, Rod. They got to hold them on this drive. They can't let them score before the half.
Before the half, because did Henry get the ball first? I think Henry did get the ball first, so that means Concordia Academy will be getting it out of halftime. So with Henry here, you probably won't get the ball back with 2.5 minutes, the way they take the air out the ball. But like you said, a stop right here, no points, will possibly be big for Henry going into halftime.
And once again, the kicking game, let's break that down too quickly. We've seen the kicking. We've seen one good kicking game of the teams we've covered. That's one thing I noticed about Minnesota high school sports. The kicking game is not up to par like it is down in states like Florida and Texas.
KG Vang with a high kick, and it looks that was a good call with the high kick because it went 10 yards, but it was recovered by number 25, Sam Hogg, and they will have another great field position for Henry at the 40, another great start for field position for Concordia Academy, as they will be starting at their own 45-yard line once again with 2:29 left in the first half.
All right, big matchup here at Don Swanson Field here in fabulous North Minneapolis. This is an excellent field, too, for the people that think the city's teams don't have great fields to run on. This is an excellent football field. I really like this football field.
Yeah,
Don
you say it reminds you of UW lacrosse.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. This is a nice field, nice grass under the lights here on the Friday night. We got the fans out here again from Henry. We got the Henry faithful right outside the park, or right outside the field in their cars watching the game. As the first down run there goes for about 3 yards to the 48-yard line up the right side of the field. That was running back or quarterback Tony B on a direct snap.
All right, these guys defensively going to have to make a big play. We got Trey Bogart, Merrick, Roderick Ewing, Zaire Jennings. We need a big play from one of the defensive players.
Right on time. They will need a big defensive play, as it is a direct snap. As it is a direct snap to number 10, Jaden Quas, the three-sport athlete. He takes it for about another 3 yards, so it'll be about third down from about the 48, and they need to get to the 45-yard line to gain for the first down. So 2 plays, and they got about 7 yards, right around what Coach Wolf wants to do. Now let's see if Henry can pin their ears back and get a nice stop here with 1:35 left in the second half. Or in the first half, I'm sorry about that. In the first half, 1.5 minutes left. Direct snap to number 10. He then hands it off to number 11 on the reverse. And he's going up the left side. And that was a touchdown saving tackle at the 35-yard line by number 9 on Henry. And that is Newman Thomas, the sophomore defensive back, with a nice tackle. That was a nice play design by Concordia Academy. Direct snapped it to the running back Jaden Quas, and then he did a reverse to Christian Brown, who was able to take it up the left side of the field for about 13 yards on that play.
Was that? I thought that was Devontae White Sledge on that tackle.
No, that was number 9, Newman Thomas.
Newman Thomas.
Yep. A direct snap to quarterback Tony B, and he takes it down till about the 27. And I think Concordia Academy is going to take a timeout here as they're threatening right now to put more points on the board before half. With 54 seconds left, Concordia Academy will take their first timeout. And as they will set up, it'll be about 2nd and 2 as they need to get to about the 25-yard line again. So another run of 8 yards on first down.
All right, we're going to break it down here quickly. What I'm seeing is if Henry can anyway step it up on defense anyway, get that gang tackling going on, because the
No safety. The safety comes down in the box where you have extra men that can stop these runs, and you need your outside guys to contain because these sweeps are killing Henry. Number
Another
10,
big
Jaden
run.
Cross. He'll get enough for the first down as he will be down at about the 20-yard line. So they're right in Henry's territory, right in the red zone with 46 seconds as Concordia calls another timeout. Or nope, I'm sorry, they did not call another timeout. When the chains get set, the clock starts just like in college. Direct snap to the running back, Jaden Quast again. He runs it to the right. He spins out of a tackle, and he gets knocked around out of bounds for about another 5 yards as we'll have about 2nd down and 5, and they need to get to the 10-yard line again for the first down. Concordia Academy calls another timeout. Second timeout of the half for them. And this is the one thing that Concordia Academy is going to have to really figure out. They have one timeout left. They're running the ball team. But if they're not running for first downs, they're not getting those big. And sometimes that could be bad for a player's confidence. So it's going to be interesting to see what Henry will do here going forward. As it's a direct snap to the running back out of the backfield to number 10, Jaden Quas. And he is stopped at the line of scrimmage. And I don't think that Concordia Academy can run the ball anymore. I think they might have to take a shot here in the end zone with about 3rd down and 5. And it's only 13 seconds left as they hurry up to the line of scrimmage. In shotgun. And it is direct snap to Jaden Quas. He goes to the right, and it will be a flag, and it looks like it was a pre-snap penalty.
Illegal procedure. False start.
So it'll be 5 yards back, and this has to be good for Henry because it's only 5 seconds left, and this is going to force Concordia Academy to throw the ball. Now, I feel like with 5 seconds left, you're going to be backed up to about your, 20-yard line? Yep, they're going to be backed up till about the 20-yard line, so right at the start of the red zone.
Now, this is one thing I don't understand, Rod. With soccer becoming pretty popular now in the high school circuit, how come
some games can come down to a point or they can come down to a field goal. And if you have a kicker that can kick it, I think that makes you a lot more dangerous than most teams at the high school level.
The pass is down the middle and it's broken up.
And it is broken up at half, and that was the running back that threw that pass on that one, Jaden Quas, as he tried to throw it over the middle, deep over the middle to number 87, or to the receiver, actually to number 20 on that play, Noah Meyer, who did not get that pass because it was broken up by Henry. So at halftime, Henry was able to hold Concordia Academy on that last drive and not allow any points before the half, which makes it 24-14 at halftime, JR.
and kick, and Concordia covers the ball at the 38-yard line. They've got good field position to start the second half.
Yeah, I mean, they've been at the 45 to 45 to 50, and now the 38. Great field position, but like I said, once again, it didn't matter if they had to go 80 yards, 60 yards, 40 yards. What Henry needs to do is put extra guys in the box and stop this rushing attack to give themselves a chance to get back in this game, because Henry's last 2 drives, they were able to go down and score, and I feel like if they can get any type of defensive momentum, this game can then be up for grabs.
All right, Henry's got to stop them here, and they're very capable of doing that.
And it's a direct snap to Sam Hogg, the running back, as he runs to the left, and he'll get about 3 yards on the play, but there is a flag back down at the line of scrimmage as he runs it to the 41-yard line from the left side. And they have been using Sam Hogg in the running game, the freshman, a lot.
And we just got a holding penalty against Concordia.
And that is not a good way to start the half. I know Coach Wolf probably was preaching to them, hey, you guys did exactly what I asked in the first half. And what he told me earlier is he wants them to stay consistent. He does not want drives to stall. He wants 4 to 5 yards of play and keep the offense on schedule. And when you get a 10-yard holding penalty, that is going against the opposite of what you're trying to do. So now they're 1st and 20 from the 30. And this should be big for Henry. I feel like Henry needs some momentum as he runs it up the middle for about 5 yards. And that was Sam Hogg again with the stop. First, we saw Concordia Academy come out with the senior, Jaden Quast, but lately we've seen Sam Hogg kind of catch up in carries, and he's been the guy that's been carrying the load here. So they're putting a lot of pressure, or not a lot of pressure, but they're putting a lot of workload on the freshman, which does nothing but bode well for them in the future.
I got to send a shout out to Minneapolis Henry's girls volleyball team that's doing a heck of a job this year. They're 2-2. And they were supposed to have a game last night, but it was canceled. But
Okay.
Henry's girls volleyball team, 2-2. Keep up the good work, ladies.
Okay, shout out to the volleyball team. I'm happy all these kids are getting to play. They love that play, that direct snap and the reverse handoff, and it is stopped in the backfield right now. And that was a good stop. It's about a 2-yard loss on the play. And was that Ewing with the tackle?
That gang tackling. Did I tell you what I was telling you?
Number 32, that was Syrian White on the tackle to number 24, who was carrying the ball, Eli Griffin. So the trick play for Concordia Academy gets stopped. Henry got that penetration that we talked about in the backfield, and that would be a 2-yard loss. So it'll be about 3rd and 17 from the 33-yard line for Concordia Academy.
This would
here.
be a big stop for Henry if they can
Yes, it
stop
would,
him.
and this is what we talked about. This is what they needed directly out the half. But on the flip side, this is what Coach Wolf wanted to stay away from. Not stand on schedule with that penalty that they took early. And Tony B gets a lot of that back as he got to the 45-yard line. So it's a 12-yard run on that play, which will set up a 4th and 5. So we went from 3rd and 17 to 4th and 5. Now, this is a big play, I feel like, right now. Henry's going to have to pin their ears back and get a stop. If you're listening, Henry, I say put 8 in the box and just cover it. Just cover. You know they're not going to throw it. So this is where you go all out to get this ball back to your offense.
This is where Henry needs the Punisher to come up with a big play right now.
I got Jack Organash. You need him right now. This, like you said, JR, when you say things, JR, it's right on time. It is right on time. And let's see. Right up the middle. And it looks like he is going to be stuffed. Looks like he got to about the 47. And Henry coach has to be happy with that stop, because that's exactly what they needed to start this half. And let's see if Crispin Jackson can continue the hot streak that he had in the second half.
You see, the Punisher was in on that tackle. I told him once that guy steps up, he's agile. As big as he is, he's agile, and he's so strong. All he has to do is just hit you a little bit, and you're going to be black and blue the next day with plenty of bruises on your body.
And Organash is showing his worth. On the other side, we have Aiden Kingsbury, Division I athlete, going to Princeton next year, and Jack Organash is saying, hey, look, I'm here too, and I'm here on the field too.
There you go.
So the Punisher, as you talked about, made some plays that drive, and Henry, he gave the ball back to Crispin Jackson, and they have great field position as they start off on Concordia side of the 47-yard line, and Crispin just throws it a little short there to Jonathan Phillips as they try to set up a screen on the outside.
But I'm not mad at him for that, though, because these are the kinds of plays that have been working. So I'm
Yes.
not mad, even though it's a miscue. But I feel those are the kind of plays that are going to get Henry back in this game.
Well, and that's what we talked about. And that's what we talked about when Crispin Jackson about the coaches making adjustments. They made adjustments because we talked about it up here. They need to get the ball outside to their athletes, and that's what they're attempting to do. No, he didn't complete the pass, but the adjustments that Henry have made, that speaks volumes to this team improving.
And it looks like we got another penalty here, a false start here
Pre-snap
on
penalty.
Henry.
So Henry is also going backwards. Both teams are not looking good coming out this half after Henry had 2 back-to-back drives of scoring. They have to get positive plays because the defense got them that stop that we talked about that they needed. Now the offense, if they do their job, we got us a game again here, folks. Crispin lines up in shotgun, about 2nd and 15 from the 47. He pump fakes, swing route to number 1 Zaire Jennings, and he trips up, and he gets to about the 47, but there is another flag down at the line of scrimmage.
And you know, we just mentioned this earlier, Rob. We said the first 2 games had a lot of penalties. I said this game is going smooth, and I jinxed us because now we're starting to get a lot of
I'm telling you, JR is on time, guys. He'll tell me, hey, Crispin needs to roll out to the right. Crispin rolls out to the right, 43-yard run. Hey, Jack Arganash needs to come up. He gets a stop. We don't have any penalties. We're going to get out of here early tonight. Oh, nope, now we got penalties. So JR is not only one of the top commentators, he's also a fortune teller, folks.
And there you go. And for all you guys watching the live stream, please leave a comment for us because we appreciate all the good comments you guys have been leaving.
Well, I want to mention that, I don't know if it's a staff member here for Henry, but they mentioned that we talked about Crispin Jackson being a leader on the field, being a high-energy guy, having a lot of knowledge. Well, one of the people that's watching the game said that he's also a leader young man off the field, which is something that I want to allude to all young athletes about. As Crispin Jackson comes over the middle to Johnston Jong, and it's lucky they're not a penalty on that. That's a first down. Another crossing route, a slant across the middle, and Crispin Jackson with that nice long accuracy, that nice long delivery, the accuracy over the middle to get it to Johnston Jong in traffic, and Johnston Jong did the rest.
And Jong is making some good plays tonight, stepping up for big play, AJ.
That separation at the line of scrimmage that he got and made it into a slant. Crispin laid it right on him between the 2 and the 1, and he was able to take it the rest of the way for a first or third down. They got about 7 yards to go after being about 2nd and 30, so picked up a nice 20-yard gain on that one. A nice wind-up again. Oh, and Jonathan Phillips drops it over the middle. If I'm Henry, I'm going for it on this play right here.
He had both hands on the ball, too.
He had both hands on the ball. You have to catch
those.
that. And that's what we're talking about. The timing is on from the quarterback. The route was ran perfectly by Jonathan Phillips. Henry has been doing that this whole season. They just haven't been able to capitalize when they need to capitalize. And who knows? Jonathan Phillips probably would still be running had he caught that pass. And they're going for it right now. They're about 4th and 7. About 4th and 6, and they need it. No, actually about 4th and 4. I'm sorry, guys. My eyesight is off. Crispin runs it, and he gets the first down, and he gets stopped at about the 26-yard line.
Got a fumble on the play.
As it was a fumble on the play, but Henry recovered the fumble as they're right on time with that one. Whew,
as I called it again, those are the kind of plays Henry needs. The option for Crispin to run. Use his ability. He's probably one of the faster guys on the field. He's definitely big and strong. You've got to give him more options to run that ball.
Yes, you do. You definitely do. And that was what you talked about. There was a fake. It was a run pass option, or RPO. Faked it to the running back. The defense got shook. Went to the left, pulled it out, and he got the first down to the 26. Now he just has to do a better job of that ball security because Concordia Academy may start going for that ball. But Henry's put together a nice drive here. They were behind the chains. Nice pass on the outside to Jonathan Phillips. He makes a guy miss. He's still running, and look like he gets a little bit less than a first down yardage as he's down now. First down as they're now in red zone territory of Concordia Academies. And they're doing exactly what we saw, JR, in the first 2 games that we thought could work if they get their timing and the receiver and the quarterback got on the same page. They're getting the ball out to their athletes. And Phillips looked like he would only had about 2 yards on that play, but the athletic move to the outside got him 8 more yards for the first down. So now Henry is threatening from about their own 15-yard line.
And from here on, it's all touchdowns. I don't think they're going to be going for any field
And
goals. Henry recovers
Zaire
the
Jennings,
ball.
right now, Henry has to stop being sloppy with the ball. Zaire Jennings lost it, but he was able to get back on it as they lost about 5 yards on the play. So it'll be about 2nd and 16 from the 21-yard line. Or about 2nd and 11 from the 21-yard line because they need to get to about the – no, I'm sorry. I was right. 2nd and 16 from the 21-yard line because they need to get to the 5-yard line to gain for the first down with 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
Got to mention a couple more athletes. Mike and Terry Pettis from Minneapolis, Patrick Henry back in the day. Very great basketball players and football players as well.
Okay. He goes deep, long left, and Johnston Young is wide open,
And
and
he
he drops it.
drops it.
Wide open, and he dropped it, folks.
It was-
Crispin Jackson
Oh.
set the play action up very well, and that was a touchdown waiting to happen. And I don't know if the ball got lost in the lights, if he just couldn't track it.
It was too easy.
But it was too easy. That was pitch and catch, and those are the plays that we talked about for Henry, guys, that they need. That was a wide open touchdown right there. And I know that Crispin is going to come back. And that's one thing about this quarterback. He doesn't let plays like that get him down because we've seen him have plays like that from his receivers all season. But, God, they got to help this kid out because, God, he can literally be all-conference, all-state honorable mention if some of these balls are caught because that was a pretty pass. That was a pretty pass. And I don't want to harp on that because Johnson has been having a good game, catching a touchdown pass earlier, catching over the middle, getting separation from his guy. But you got to have that one. You have to have that.
And there was nobody within 20 yards of
Nobody.
him.
Wide open off the play, off the pump fake, deep left. Like I said, Crispin is doing his job back there in the pocket. And he throws it again. And it looks like that one's going to be short as Jonathan Phillips, as it was intended for Phillips, but it was thrown short by Crispin Jackson. And now what looked like a promising touchdown is now 4th down and about 16 as they need to get to the 5-yard line to gain from the 21-yard line.
Well, I saw a sophomore enter the game for Henry, and he's got some size. Monteque Walker, he's a sophomore, 5'11", 295 in the game, and they're bringing some of the younger, bigger guys in to try and slow that line down.
Bringing in some of these younger guys, and like I said, at this point of the season, you only have 6 games in the season. Check out some of these younger players because, as we alluded to, Henry has about 12 seniors on this team, if not more. So a lot of these young guys are going to be the face of this program. So you want to give them their opportunity now as Crispin Jackson is bottled up in the backfield and sacked. And it will be a turnover on downs. That was number 54 and number 13 and 66 on the gang tackle. So we got Evan Larson, the defensive end senior. We got Bennett A. I'm not going to even try to slay his name like that. Another senior on the play. And then we got the quarterback, Tony B. So 3 seniors on that play to stop Crispin and Henry Patriots. But if you're Henry, you have to be kicking yourself because you had 6 with that touchdown.
Well, it maybe even though they are controlling the line a little bit better, let's see if the defense now can come up with another big stop.
And yes, another run, and this one looks like it's going to go for a first down as they started from their own 30-yard line, and now the run goes to about the 40. So 10 yards right on first down, right up the middle for the quarterback, Tony B. of Concordia Academy.
I'd like to thank Athletic Director Kenneth Massey for Minneapolis Patrick Henry for allowing us the opportunity to bring this to your home. Yeah. So I want to say thank you very much. This is our last football game. I'm going to be doing some basketball, and Rod's going to have his brother fill in for him.
Yeah, my brother. Check out the podcast. You guys will get to see my brother Mike Adams. He's a big basketball fan, big sports fan, just like I am. So I think him and JR are just going to keep it going. They're going to do some real smooth things, and I'm looking forward to tuning in when I'm not coaching and watching you guys on the broadcast.
I look like another power sweep here.
About 7 yards on that game to the 46, 47-yard line, and that was number 10 on the play for Concordia, Jaden Quas. We haven't said his name in a while, the senior triple-star athlete in track and field, basketball, and football. He will be attending Bethel University next year for basketball.
Also, we haven't mentioned Derek Rushing, number 52 for Henry. He's a senior, 5'10", 280. Another one of the big guys on the line.
And Tony B is another impact player. He's the quarterback / running back, and he's also a senior too. And Tony B, as we talked about, with the direct snap right there, he'll have enough for the first down as he gets to about the 48-yard line of Patrick Henry's, as now Concordia Academy is now on Henry's side of the field and threatening as they're on the 48-yard line with a little bit over 5 minutes left in this third quarter.
And we forgot to say hello to the fans out there that are watching the game right along the fence here. They've been loyal fans
they've
over there.
been here. All the games we've been to, they've been right outside the fence because of COVID going on right now. People can't be in the stands, but they're here supporting on their Henry Patriots right from the street, from their cars. Put up their lawn chairs, and they're here watching some Friday Night Football under the lights. He fakes it. Tony B fakes it to Jaden Quas, and he runs it up the left side of the field for a little bit and more, and he gets down to about the 36-yard line.
Looks like another first down.
Enough for another first down. That is two plays in a row. Two plays in a row where they got first down yardage on first down, and it looks like the Henry defense that got them energized in the beginning of this half is kind of reverting back to their old first half ways. Shotgun, Tony B takes it again up the middle. Same play as he runs it to the left side of the field this time now for about a gain of 5 to about the 30-yard line. And they need the 25, 26-yard line to gain for the first down. So it'll be about 2nd and 4 on this next play. And that was another 6-yard run on first down.
Concordia's record on the season is 1-2. Minneapolis Henry is 0-3.
Yes.
And leading in the Twin Cities Maroon Division district, St. Agnes has an overall record of 2-0, and Breck is 2-1 in the conference and 2-1 overall.
Okay, and that's look like it's some good football. Like I said, if Henry can somehow, some way, put the whole thing together, Henry, we've seen, this is our third game seeing from Henry, and every game I've seen improvement from this team. They are never out of it. They battle back. Since the Spectrum game and this game, they battle. They just have to lessen up the mistakes, and they would be right back in this game as Jaden Quas breaks a couple tackles up the right side of the field. And another touchdown for Jaden Quas. He had been quiet. He had been quiet in the second quarter and part of most of this third quarter, but he takes that 30-yard run to the end zone as we had a lot of broken tackles on that one play, and he went up the right side of the field for a touchdown, folks.
30-14.
30-14, and like I said, that took the air out of the momentum for Henry, and they have to find it. They have to find some mojo here these last 15 minutes, 3 minutes in the third quarter and the 12 minutes in the fourth quarter.
Concordia going for 2 points again.
Yep, as they got 3 guys in the backfield, and they're going to look like they're going to throw it in the shotgun. Nope. Jaden Quas does throw it as the end as he held up, but with the pressure that Henry alluded, the 2-point conversion will be no good. So it's still 30-14, which makes this a 2-score game if Henry can convert on 2-point conversions if they can score these touchdowns.
I just like basketball this year along with your brother and the Fight Doctor. And also my man Q-Dog is going to help us out.
Okay. And I just want to say thank you for the opportunity because, like, everybody that knows me knows I love sports, knows I love doing this, but I had never did it before. And linking up with you guys, you and Troy, the Fight Doctor, all of you guys have just shown me nothing but ease me into this, show me love, like Troy said, and I'm able to just be my normal, natural self. And, hey, here we are.
All right, number 8 for Henry.
And that is number 8. That is the freshman, Devontae White-Sledge, takes it down to the 45 after about a 15-yard return there. No, I'm sorry, that was number 9. Number 8 and 9 jerseys look the same. That was Newman Thomas on that return of about 20 yards. And we have a player down on the field for Concordia Academy. Looks like he's holding his left leg. So I hope it's not too serious, maybe just a cramp or something like that. But the trainer is out on the field taking a look at one of Concordia Academy players. I can't see the number, but he looks like he's in a little bit of pain. With 3:13 left here in the third quarter, it is 30-14 Concordia Academy. Patrick Henry will be starting with the ball at their 45-yard line.
You know, we haven't mentioned Newman Thomas's name a lot tonight, but he's a sophomore excelling tonight. He's number 9. He's 5'5", and he's 145. He's a running back and defensive back, and he's made some good plays tonight.
And that was Kellen Quast, probably the younger brother or relative to Jaden Quast, who got up and under his own power, and he was able to run off the field. So maybe just a cramp or a tweak, but he was able to get up off his own under his own power and run off the field. So that's some good news for that young man there.
All right, looks like Henry's going to try and do something here. Crispin Jackson, the poised quarterback.
And shotgun from the 45, and it looks like we probably have a timeout. But Concordia Academy probably didn't have the right defense set up. But a timeout with 3:13 left here in this third quarter.
You're listening to Patriot Sports Radio with the score Concordia 30, Minneapolis Henry 14.
Starts off at their own 45-yard line, 1st and 10. One guy in the backfield, that's Jair Jennings, and a slant, another pass on the money, and it was dropped by Trey Bogart Merrick, the senior, for Henry. And one thing that the coaches raved about before the game, they said he improved on his hands this offseason to become a receiving threat as well. And that one right there is one that he has to make his coach's statement look good and bring that one in.
He ran before he actually had the ball secured.
He saw a lot of green.
Yes, he did.
And we saw what he did earlier on that 80-yard kickoff return that got turned around because of a holding call. But he had the ability to take that one. Jair Jennings on the sweep run, and he gets across midfield to about the 48-yard line, and this will set up a big third down and about 3 yards to go as they need to get to about the 45-yard line of Concordia Academies for the first down. So that was a nice second down run by Jair Jennings across the middle of the field to the right side on that sweep.
And if you're Minneapolis Henry, when do you get into the hurry-up offense?
I mean, right now, I don't necessarily think you have to rush. I do think you need points on this drive. I think the main thing is Henry needs to get the right plays called and make sure they have the best plays called, and they need to focus. Another drop pass, and these passes cannot be put on the money any better.
Jonathan Phillips, and he's usually sure-handed.
Had a nice touchdown earlier in the game, but we have seen a couple drops from him as well. And this is, to your point about the hurry-up, I don't feel like you can go hurry-up when guys aren't focused right now. In order to do the hurry-up, everybody has to be on the same page. Everybody has to be focused. I think the best thing is getting the right play called, but the most important thing is these receivers have to start helping Crispin Jackson out, because this young man is playing a heck of a game, and he's throwing heck of a pass. He's throwing a hell of a ball, but they're just not catching him. They're just not catching him.
Another penalty on the play.
And it looks like it was probably encroachment on the field, but they look like they're going to call a false start on Henry. But I thought Concordia Academy moved a little bit earlier than the lineman for Henry did.
I got to send a shout-out to Nancy and Amber over at Family Dollar over there on 40th and Bloomington. They're checking out the podcast tonight, the live stream.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So now you go from 4th and 3 to about 4th and 8 now with that 5-yard backup penalty. You were on the 49-yard line. Now you're on the 46, and you have to get to the 45-yard line to gain for the first down. So now you're about 4th and 9 after you were about 4th and 4. So once again, Henry's playing behind the chains, and we don't need that. And it looks like it's a deep pass and a little bit of contact on the play, but the refs are going to let it go. A no call, no play on the coverage with Sam Hogg, and that pass was incomplete, intended for Jonathan Phillips.
I think he would have called a flag if the ball would have been a little bit closer, but I think he felt he wouldn't have been able to catch the ball.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been able to catch it because it was a little bit inside when Jonathan Phillips was more to the outside. And they have been going after the freshman corner, Sam Hogg, who's also a star running back on the other end. I would say Sam has pretty much held up on his own, besides giving up a few plays here and there. He's held up on his own, but I like how Crispin has found a matchup that he feels like he can exploit. Like I said, the other part of the team just has to help that young man out. And as the Concordia Academy gets it, they're running, and Jaden Quas is breaking tackle after tackle as he runs for a first down on first down. He gets to the 35 after they start from the 45. So a first down on first down for Concordia Academy.
Also, I'd like to thank Jerissa. She's the baker over at Cub Foods.
Okay.
And she's the prettiest lady in the bakery business. Want to send a shout out. Thanks for listening. We got a lot of people listening too. A lot from on the other side from Concordia. We got some listeners from Patrick Henry. We got some of your friends and my friends listening as well. And there's a fumble and a pickup by Henry
right now by Henry. And that's Jonathan Phillips. And this is the opportunity they needed, and he will take it to the house after the fumble on the play. The fumble on the play by Tony B, and Jonathan Phillips scoops it up and takes it to the house. This is the second game at their home field where Henry has had a scoop 6. And that time it was scooped up by Jonathan Phillips, and he takes it about 55 yards to the house for a touchdown with 1:52 left here in the third quarter.
Yes, I told you the big plays are starting to come out. The big players are starting to make the plays here. And actually, if they make this 2-point conversion, this could be a one-score game.
Down 30-22, and that's what we alluded to with Henry. They are a fight team. Versus Spectrum, we saw them get down 20-6. They didn't panic. They didn't finger point. They came back and took the lead in that game 22-20. They just weren't able to close it out. But this team, one thing I will say about them is even when they're down, they're never out.
All right, this is an important possession right here, going for 2 points. And you got the ball in the hands of the right man, Crispin Jackson. Like to see a little roll out here.
And I want to give, after this, we'll talk about it. And he just overthrew all the receivers on that one as it went out of bounds. And in the area was Trey and Johnston Jung, but nobody had a chance to catch that one.
I would have rolled out. I'm sorry. I would have had Crispin roll out.
Roll him out.
That's
and a drag route on the opposite side.
Yes.
Because we saw how Johnson and Jonathan Phillips have gotten to the middle of the field. So you roll him out opposite and drag them across, and maybe that's open. Or maybe he could just run it in. But 30.
One 296, and Emmanuel Walker is just a ninth grader for Henry, 5'10", 270. So they've got some size in there.
Picked up from the 25 by number 1. He spins it back to the middle. He's still going as he shakes a few tackles, and he spins down, and he will be tackled short of the 40-yard line at about the 37-yard line. So I would say about a 12-yard return on that return from Nick Brunn, the sophomore wide receiver.
All right, you're listening to Patriot Sports Radio, heard exclusively on 89.7 JRM Internet Radio. We're home of Patrick Henry. That's right, the Patriots, a powerhouse. That's right.
And if you're Henry on this drive, I say you have to get stops early because Coach Wolf told me earlier that he wants to have clock control, not only control on the line of scrimmage, but clock control. So if they can take the air out this ball and they can get an 8-minute drive going into the fourth quarter, I think that Concordia Academy will be happy with that. Jack Oganash.
Guess who was on that tackle? The Punisher. There you go.
The Punisher, after a 4-yard gain from Jaden Quast on that run down to about the 44-yard line, Jack Angwanash with the tackle. And I feel like we've been saying his name more and more as the game picks up here.
And he's uncommitted right now. He doesn't have actually doesn't have a scholarship right now.
Yeah, I mean,
people are looking at him, but nothing's been signed yet.
Yeah, a lot of these kids nowadays, they wait late, and I mean with COVID going on, you know, they thought the season wasn't going to happen till the spring. So I mean, I feel like the future for that kid is very bright. So if I was him, I would not be worried about those things. They're going to take care of themselves. because of the type of season we had, he's definitely going to get some calls and stuff once they get the film from this season.
Another big first down here from Concordia on a 12-yard run.
And now the ball's at midfield. That was a nice run to the left side of the field there for Concordia Academy. And this is what we talked about. It's 50 seconds left in the third quarter. If Concordia Academy still has this ball going into the fourth quarter, that will not bode well for Henry. They need to get the stops here early on the early downs. And Quas, good tackle in the open field on Jaden Quas. That was a good tackle by Zaire Jennings, and that was a good tackle to help out, like you talked about, the game tackle by Maurice Mooks and Zaire Jennings on the game tackle, which looked like it looked like Jaden Quas would still be running, but the way they closed in on the ball, it went from a big gain to only about a 3-yard gain at the 47-yard line of Patrick Henry. So they're now 2nd and 7, and they need to get to the 40-yard line to gain of Henry's for the first down, as I think they're probably just going to let the clock run out here on this third quarter as it's 5 seconds left and be content with going into the fourth quarter up 10.
All right, there you have it, the end of the third quarter, and the score is Concordia 30, Minneapolis. Patriot Sports Radio. Up in the booth, Rob Blocker Jr. on the play-by-play, J.R. Maddox and the Fight Doctor on the commentating tonight.
Direct snap to Jaden Quas as he runs up to the right side of the field, and he will be stopped right on the other side of the 45 to the 44-yard line. So this will set up a nice 3rd down and 4 as they need to get to the 40-yard line again. This will be a big play for Henry to get them into 4th down and potentially get them their offense the ball back, because right now the time is not on their side, as we know what Concordia Academy likes to do, and that's run the ball, control the clock, control the line of scrimmage. So if you're Henry, now it's a lot more urgency to get stops, but now we see 2 wide receivers out wide, which we haven't really seen all game from Concordia Academy.
I think they've, attempted 2 passes
3
tonight?
wide receivers outside. Yep, 2 passes, and one of them was on a 2-point conversion, and they run it right up the middle as they spread them out to about the 35-yard line with Tony B as they get a direct snap right up the middle for 9 yards, and that will be enough for the first down, and that is not a friend of Henry's as the clock keeps going once the chains are set.
Well, like you've mentioned before, Henry have had a lot of learning lessons this year. There's a pretty young team here.
Yeah.
And they're explosive and they have heart. They don't give up. So.
No, they do not give up. And like I said, they're even though they're down, they're never out of it because they are opportunistic. They got the athletes to make up for it. But like you said, I feel like once they get the structure and on the same page, this team could probably compete with some of the best of them in the city and the state even.
There you go. That was a good tackle, too. Good
open
tackle.
field
Tackle
up the
open
middle.
field tackle. Yes. Actually saved a big play right there.
Even though it was another first down run on first down, that was a nice saving tackle because that could have went for 6 instead of a first down. So now they are threatening the red zone, Concordia Academy is, as they have the ball on Henry's 25-yard line with under 11 minutes to go here in this fourth quarter. We got about 10:45 left. And it looks like that'll be the first timeout taken by Patrick Henry of the half with 10:43 left in the fourth quarter here as Concordia Academy
Minneapolis Henry taking on Concordia here. Don Swanson Field and Concordia with the ball, and it's a power sweep.
Jaden Quast runs it to the left. He bounces out, and that was a nice tackle in open field by Jonathan Phillips as he only gains about 2 yards on the play with a nice open field tackle by the senior wide receiver / defensive back. So about 2nd and 8 from the 23-yard line, and that's what Henry needs. They need to get in the backfield on the early downs to make these longer downs a lot tougher and make Concordia Academy do something that they're not used to doing, which is probably pass the ball. But what Henry needs to do is get the ball back in their offense hands, whether it's another play, opportunistic play, or whether it's a stop, because like I said, time is not on their side as we have 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. A direct snap to Tony B, and look who is back in the backfield. Jack Oganash, as he gets about 1 yard, maybe 1 yard on the carry.
There's got to be some school interested in the Punisher. I mean, I could see him playing D2, D3.
Yeah, no,
possibly even D1. He's agile on his feet. Yeah,
he got the size. So they're about 3rd and 3 from the 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 from about the 18 or the 19, and they need to get to the 15-yard line for the first down yards to gain. So about 3rd and 3, 3rd and 4 right here for Concordia Academy. This is a big third, another big third down as Tony B takes it to the right side, and he bounces off a tackle. He's still going, and he looks like he got enough for the first down as he got to about the 9-yard line. And that was to the right side of that line. And one thing I think Henry needs to do is they need to stay home. I'm not going for any fakes. That run-pass option, well, you can take the pass part out of it. It's really a run option. It's just which running back is he going to give the ball to? Because sometimes he has 2 running backs back there. He's faking it in their belly, and then he takes off. Or he gives it to them, and then they're coming around and handing off to another running back. If you're the ends, you have to stay home, and you need to get pressure up the middle to stop those plays in the backfield. Lining up from shotgun here from the 10-yard line. That is Jaden Quast now looking for another touchdown, and he looks like he's stopped by Zaire Jenny or by Trey Bogart Merrick, and we've been saying his name a lot this half with the tackles as he makes another nice open field tackle on Jaden Quast to set up 2nd down and goal because they're not able to get another first down as they're inside the 10-yard line.
Well, this is do or die right here. This is time where Henry has to dig deep, and the defensive line has to, like you said, stay at home, fill their lane, and stay at home. Just stay at home. That's the best advice I can give you.
Right up the middle, there goes the quarterback Tony B, and it looks like he's pushing. The Palace pushing, and he will be stopped short of the touchdown at about the 2-yard line. It looks like. So 3rd and goal from about the 1 or the 2. And you got to be thinking that Concordia Academy feels like if they score here, they might have this one in the bag.
Especially with how long they can keep the ball on these long drives, 8-10-minute drives.
Well, yeah, they got the ball with about 1 minute and 50 seconds in the third quarter. And just to give you guys an idea, we're at about 7 minutes and 35 seconds here in the fourth quarter. So they've almost taken their out of the ball for 5 minutes, and they had the ball for about 2 minutes, about a 7-minute drive. And that's what I talked about in the third quarter, that Henry needed to get the ball back, but they were not able to get the ball back.
And we got a touchdown for Concordia.
Tony B, the quarterback, keeps it and runs it in right up the middle right, and he runs it in for a touchdown. And now it's 36-20 with 7:24 left. And like I said, Henry's down. They're never out of it. But at this point, you have to feel like Concordia Academy has a lot of confidence in wrapping this one up in a victory tonight.
And I would say, honestly, I'm not a football coach, but if Henry doesn't come back the next drive and get a touchdown, I would start playing some of the freshmen out there. I would get some of the 9th graders and some of the 10th graders a little action out there.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely see that's what's happening, right? And one of the few passes that they throw, he does it all. Not only does he track, basketball, and football, runs the ball. Jaden Quast also can pass the ball as he makes the 2-point conversion complete to number 25 on the play, Sam Hogg. And those guys today have just been the key hogs in the Concordia Academy's offense. And now they're up 38-20, and that could have been the icing on the cake here.
And, watching Concordia, they've got a record of 1-2, but they look like they could be pretty good.
They look like they can be a pretty good team. What Coach Wolf told me before the game started, he said they're 1-2 because the line that we're seeing now that is overpowering Henry on offense and defense. He said that's not always the case. They're not always consistent. It's on and off. So he said the game, I think they played Roseville last game, he thought that they were a little bit off on that, and that's why they ended up losing that game. So versus Concordia Academy, I do like their run attack. I like their multiplicity of running backs they use, the multiplicity of plays. But I do think that if you can make this team become more than just a running team, that's where you could probably start to see some of their mishaps. Henry's not able to do that tonight, so it looks like they're really dominant on the line, and they have some good runs and good things going. But I really think if Henry was to make them multifaceted, we probably would be seeing a different game. But Coach Wolf made it apparent that he wanted to run the ball and get about 4 to 5 yards of play.
Short kickoff.
They have done that tonight.
Henry with the ball. And
it's a fumble, it looks like, on the play. But it looks like they're calling him down by contact as it was about an 8-yard gain. So Henry will have the ball on their own 29-yard line, it looks like, to start this next drive with 7:17.
Well, one good thing I can say, too, about Henry, you know, even though you're a city team, you already know how can I say you already know that most of the athletes from the city, a lot of them go out to the suburbs to go to school. But just to have a inner city team here, Henry's got tools to work with.
Oh yeah, they do. And like I said, we've definitely seen it. These athletes here, some of the younger guys that they are throwing in, you know, Crispin is a product of Henry here. Nice quarterback here. I mean, like I said, if the receivers had been doing their part, catching the ball, and he could have probably 300 yards right now. So to me, he could play with any quarterback in the state. It's just, like you said, the lack of practice, the lack of reps this year, it's showing on the field as Jonathan Phillips fumbles there, but Laquarius Gilmer gets back on it at about the 39.
That's close to a first down. Yes.
Crispin completed the pass to Jonathan Phillips, and he was running, but he fumbled, and it was picked up by Laquarius Gilmer.
And it is a first down.
And it's enough for a first down as they move the chains, and they're on their own 39-yard line.
You're listening to Patriot Sports Radio, the #1 live stream in all of high school sports, right here.
Number one, right here, numero uno. Lining up in shotgun, Crispin Jackson gets it. He throws it outside to Johnston Jong as he goes. And he goes up to the left side of the field. He breaks a tackle, and then he's tackled out of bounds right in front of midfield at about the 48, 49-yard line. So it looks like another second down, so a little bit short of the first down, but they put themselves in good position as they're 2nd and 1.
And that's the kind of plays
49.
we've been asking for, all in the booth.
Yep.
Roll out, quick screen out. Bring Crispin, give him the option to run or throw. That's going to be your best opportunity to score.
And get your athletes in space and let them do work as they do another screen to Jonathan Phillips. And he goes, breaks a tackle, and he gets down as they're now crossing the side of Concordia Academy's side of the field. And we're now on the 38-yard line of Concordia Academy's. And that was enough for a first down. And that was probably about 11-yard gain, a 13-yard gain on that play for a first down as they're on the hurry up now. Henry is.
And the passing attack is clicking right now. The run game has been, besides Crispin, has been null and void. But the passing attack is starting to pick up here, and I'm liking what I see. But they got to stick to the screens, the rollouts, and put Crispin in motion. So if he doesn't see anything open, he can take off.
So right now the kid is doing it all, but they have to help him. It has to be a team thing because he only can throw the ball. He can't throw and catch it.
I want to send a shout out to Jeff Bird, one of the coaches here at Minneapolis Henry, and he still holds the record for the 100-yard dash in the state of Minnesota.
Speedster.
Yes, he was the number one track guy, number one football guy, and the number one basketball guy. That is a true athlete right out there, Jeff Bird, straight out of Minneapolis Central High School.
Okay. Shotgun as it was a holding penalty on the last play, and that is a sack back at the 50-yard line, and that is about a loss of 7, as Henry is going to need to get to the 27-yard line to gain of Concordia for the first down, and guys, they're back at the 50-yard line at midfield after that sack by number 54 on the play, Evan Larson, the defensive end, the senior defensive end for Concordia Academy. So now to give you guys a rough estimate, they're about second and 23.
And Crispin looks a little shook up, too, after that hit.
He shot through that gap, and, I mean, those hits, you'll feel them in the morning. Pump fakes, he gets pressure, and he steps up, and Crispin gets most of that yardage back from the sack as he gets down to about the 39, setting up a nice key 3rd and about 12 here as they need to get to the 27-yard line to gain for a first down. So Crispin with an 11-yard run as the pressure was at his heels there on that last rush. And that's one thing we talked about with Crispin, that I got to give that young man a lot of credit. He has a lot of crowd around him. It's a lot of crowd in that area, a lot of guys in that small area, and never does he do anything rampant where he throws it, where he makes a dumb throw, or he does something to hurt his team. He literally is composed under pressure, and as a quarterback, you need that. Nice pump fake, and another sack by number 54 as he's teeing off on the quarterback because they know Henry has to throw it as he gets sacked down to the 45. So that's about a 10-yard loss on that play, and Crispin is looking shaken up as Evan Larson gets another sack, 2 sacks in the last 3 plays for the senior defensive end, and Crispin is now coming out of the game.
Speaking of Crispin, he looks like he can go at the next level in football. He's a great basketball player, too, but he looks like he's got some skills where he could lead a college football program.
You know that 6'4", 6'5" height, see over the line of scrimmage, that's perfect quarterback height. Like I say, he has perfect length. He has a nice, strong arm, great timing. Like the coach said, he has knowledge of this offense. And like we alluded to, one thing that they like to see with quarterbacks is he's composed in the pocket under pressure. You also can get him out there on the outside to make plays. So, I mean, if this young man, and like you mentioned, I've coached against him in basketball. He's a really talented athlete. And like you mentioned, if he wanted in football, I think the opportunities will be to the podcast tonight, or the broadcast.
It's a fake
punt. The
punt
is a fake, and that is Trey Bogard Merrick, and he has a lot of room left on the left side of the field. He's running, and he's going to get the first down. He jukes inside, and he's going to get a touchdown from the fake punt, and that is what Henry needed. Trey Bogard Merrick did not get the 80-yard kickoff return earlier for a holding call, but he gets the fake punt as he runs it about 60 yards to the house from a fake punt, and Concordia Academy has not... They are not happy about that play because they thought they were going to get the ball back, but Trey Bogard Merrick in open space did exactly what the coaches told us he does, and that's make plays in the open field.
All right, Ryder. Obviously, you're going to go for 2 here. Would you, on the kickoff, go for an onside kick?
Well, you have to. It's 3:51 on the clock left, JR. And we see what Concordia game is. They run the ball. They take the ball out the air. And I feel like if Concordia Academy gets the ball back, and they keep getting these chunks, the game is all but over. I mean, so you have to do something to give yourself a chance. Why not? Earlier, I like what they did with the kick with Vane, how they kicked it up high in the air, gave their players a chance to try to get down there and make a play. I mean, something like that may work. And now we have the backup quarterback in, and that is going to be Devontae. That is Devontae Whitesledge, it looks like, at the quarterback as he runs it out to the left.
Got a penalty on the play.
He got in for the 2-point conversion, but there's going to be a holding call that's going to bring that back. So wipe the 2-point conversion, and we're going to have to redo it from about the 15-yard line.
Well, it just shows, though, the heart Patrick Henry has. They do not give up. And anytime you do have big play players, you still can keep yourself in the game. Mm-hmm. And I just think, honestly, if Henry can get their defense a little bit sturdier, get the defense a little bit sturdier, this could be an explosive team, man. They're just points away from turning the tide.
They definitely are. And like I said, it's the little things that you see, the little things that some teams didn't get to work on because of the lack of practices, the lack of focus on things. But it's the little things with Henry. Like I said, they had great quarterback play, receivers not catching the ball, guys dropping the ball, untimely penalties when you're making good drives. Those are the little things, but they show up big when it comes to win and loss results. And I feel like once Henry get that going and getting these young players some maturity, by the time they're upperclassmen, they may see a lot more positivity than shooting themselves in the foot, as the 2-point conversion was 20 yards out and it was no good, as Devontae Whitesledge was stopped on the play by number 35, Logan Kirkhoff, the sophomore linebacker / tight end.
Henry has a couple more games, too. This is the last home game.
But yeah, they have about 3 more games after this they're on 3, so they got 2 more games after this.
And if my schedule will pop up here. Once again, I'd like to thank my main man, Stephen McDonald-Frimming from StephenSports.com for helping us out on the broadcast.
And I also want to give a shout out to you and Troy, because I'm telling you, on my podcast on Thursdays, my brother's not going to have a chance because you guys have put me on to some history that I was not privy to here in the great state of Minnesota when it comes to our athletes. So shout out to you guys for all the information you give me, and I've just been soaking it in, and ready to use it to my advantage whenever we do our next podcast.
Henry's next game is going to be Friday, November the 6th at
games, Henry could finish the season on a pretty high note, as they kicks it high and they squib it to number 1, but he gets it and he takes it from the 25 up till about the 38-yard line. That was Nick Brunn on the return. So about 3:45 left here in the fourth quarter, and Concordia Academy will be starting with the ball at their own 37-yard line. And like I said, if Henry don't get stops on the early downs, a few first downs will put this game to bed.
All right, those of you that don't know, Concordia Christian School is located in Roseville, Minnesota.
Yeah, I don't live too far from there, actually. I live pretty close to Concordia Academy. And like I said, for a few years, Concordia Academy, I think they went away from being a school, and then they came back, if I'm not mistaken. Because I know my senior year they were a school, but I think they closed down for a couple years, if I'm not mistaken. I'll have to fact check on that.
Looks like a 5-yard run here up the middle.
Up to the 43, yep, right, 5-6-yard run right there, and that was the quarterback, Tony B, on first down. So we'll set up about 2nd and 4. They need to get to about the 47-yard line to gain for a first down, and they're on the 43 right now as the clock is winding down here with 3:20 left here in the fourth quarter.
All right, you're listening to Patriot Sports Radio, and this is our last football broadcast, so I hope you guys enjoyed these broadcasts. Well, we did all the home games for Henry, and I'll definitely be the voice of their basketball season.
That'll be fun for the fans to have that during basketball, to live stream with the voice and to see the game. That should be pretty fun.
And we got another first down here.
But we have a flag on the far right side of the field as Jaden Quast runs it to the 45 of Henry's for the first down, pending on the flag. And basketball will be fun to hear. I mean, you guys will get my brother. It's not me, but he's good. That's my older brother, so he's good. But it won't be me, people. But it will be him. He'll be on the podcast with JR, or the broadcast with JR, so that'll be good. And another penalty for Concordia Academy. And if you're Coach Wolf right now with 2:55 left, if you don't make any mistakes, you got to feel like this game is won. But the one thing that Coach Wolf probably wants to see from his team, if they don't want to have that Saturday practice, is how do they close out this game? He talked to me earlier about how the offensive line is inconsistent, it's on and off. Well, that was a first down run, and then now they got a holding penalty. This is where you kind of want to test your team and see if they can close the game out, if they can finish strong and clean, and that brings momentum for the next game because you want to improve on things that cost you before. And what he told me before, the offensive and defensive line aren't consistent all the time.
It's another power sweep here.
To the left, he cuts it back to the middle. He cuts it back to the right side of the field. It's open. Jaden Quas's vision is something special to see, guys, if you're here watching this game. And he gets down to about the 48 from the first down. He went all the way to the left side of the field, cut it back across the middle, and ended up on the right side of the field and got the first down after being 20 yards back. They got the first down run on that play, so on the 49-yard line of Henry's, and that right there is a game killer right there because now they have a first down with less than 2 minutes left, and Henry only has 2 timeouts, so really one more first down kind of ends this game.
Right. We have Tyshawn Spearman coming in the game for Henry. He's a senior. He's 5'7", 140, and he's a wide receiver and defensive back. So I want to make sure we give all the players a little plug here.
Yes, sir.
Because it's a team game.
And a run by number 25, Sam Hogg, and he looks like he'll get down till about the 43-yard line. And a timeout by Henry, and it'll be about 2nd and 3 when we come back from the timeout. But once again, 7 yards on first down, and those usually are not. That's usually not a good recipe for success.
Only my radio stream is still going. Never been on the timeouts and the thing.
Yeah, that's why the fans were saying. They was like, you guys are. One of the fans said, you guys are doing a great job, but they're just. I don't know why they keep muting you. But I think it's when we're listening.
Uh,
1:27 left here in the fourth quarter. About 2nd and 3 from the 43-yard line. They need to get to the 40. They're lined up in a bunch setup, shotgun, and Jack Organash gets in the backfield, a.k.a. the Punisher.
There he goes.
The Punisher for a 2-yard loss on Tony B. Right up the middle. That's the play they needed right there. That back at the 44, 45-yard line, and this will be 3rd and 4.
See, if Henry had one more big player like the Punisher on that defensive line, they could have stopped a lot of this run game. It just seems like Concordia has one more bigger player on that line.
Yeah,
and that's the difference.
Concordia's line has been showing their dominance tonight, and Henry has been resilient and fighting back, undersized. But like I said, that quickness and that athleticism is key when you're going against a big offensive line. I mean, I was a fan of the Indianapolis Colts with Peyton Manning back in the day with Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis, and those guys weren't the biggest, but they were fast and they were athletic, so they can go against the bigger lines. And I think that's what Henry has shown in glimpses, but they wasn't able to show that throughout the game tonight. As
another run up the middle here. Looks like another first down for Concordia as they keep chewing up the yardage.
And Gary Brackett, yes. Yep, the linebacker, yeah. Yes, sir. The first down right there, and I think that would be the game with about 30 seconds left. But the one thing I want to say here is, like I said also, Henry can compete with anybody. Henry was in this game still, even with all the mistakes and all the mishaps. But you got to think, if they clean those things up, this team can put up a 40-point game. We've seen 28 points from them, 26 points from them tonight. And I feel like if they clean it up and they started making those plays and hitting those passes, and they get on the same page, quarterback, receiver, receivers with their quarterback, I should say, then Henry team can be very dangerous here. We just got to see them put it all together, folks. And that is the end of the game here. Concordia Academy Beacons take the win at Don Swanson Field over the Henry Patriots, 38-26.
We'd like to thank everybody that listened on the radio broadcast, and like to thank everybody who watched us on the live stream. I'm J.R. Maddox. That's Rob Blocker Jr. This is the last football game of the season. We want to thank everybody that listened. Please send us some nice comments. I'd like to thank once again Kenneth Massey, the director here, athletic director, for putting us on. And I look forward to seeing you guys during basketball season. Have a good night.
And I thank you, JR. Y'all have a good one.
Fast game, man. Not a lot of penalties.
To the second half.
Yeah.
All right. I can start looking everything. They didn't have no pizza tonight.
No pizza. I know, right?
All right.